So Stanley, I'm just gonna run that through over here. Stanley was looking through the I'm just gonna, yeah, right here. Just for you, Fury. So yeah, we found the place where Maria was being held. It was a cell phone. So he found this. We saw this last time. That the cell phone was broken, and where we stopped by the thingamahoo's the keep out was this. Turning his attention to the handbag, Stanley searched it more thoroughly and found a photograph tucked inside he overlooked. What the hell? Stared at the picture, swallowing the lump in his throat. It was a photo of Maria standing next to another young girl. There was something written on the marker in the back. Me and Kanan, 7:30. Stanley hurriedly flipped the photo back over and looked at it again. That's Kanan. What does this mean? So, our Kanan was not. And Tateno pieced together that Maria and Kanan never actually saw each other. Because Maria could obviously identify her, but the only times they ever interacted in the game was, or at least today, was when Maria was blindfolded up on the roof and then bolted so that she didn't look at anybody, and Kanan came in to catch her after she fainted. So the only people that saw Kanan were Hitomi, who has never seen her before, and the rest of us who had never seen her before. So Stanley called Tateno, right? Stanley called Tateno to tell him, and so Tateno got to the facility with Osawa, and we're dead. And we're gonna continue over here with this over here. So the culprit was none other than Red Herring. No. I haven't watched that show in a while. So the Palmer is yet another decoy with a phone bomb on him that Kanan calls whenever she thinks that things are going bad. To the purpose of that is to take out Hitomi, so that because Hitomi has the antiviral in her blood. So she wants to get rid of Hitomi so that they can't get the antiviral from her, and she wants to get rid of all the antivirals in the lab as well. So that bomb was always supposed to go off. I just don't think that Palmer was told about it because we psyched him out before. So yeah, crazy. So we're at this keep out over here, and we can jump there from Tateno's thingy. As he drove along, Stanley again tried to deduce Alfred's plan of action. If Alfred herself is on the way to the lab now, then what was the objective of the fake who'd been sent to the Scramble? To act as a decoy. Surely that was the imposter's purpose, but it wouldn't be a simple matter of providing a brief distraction. Alfred had been careful to wipe out almost everyone she's associated with in the past. That was precisely why all of her defining characteristics such as age and sex and nationality had been unknown. It was unthinkable she'd allow this decoy, who almost certainly knew who she really was, to stay alive. Since Hitomi carried the antiviral in her body, Alfred likely wanted to get rid of her as well. In all likelihood, the terrorist mastermind was planning to steal the antiviral from the lab, but As long as some of it remained in Hitomi's bloodstream, she wouldn't have a monopoly on it. Aha! Stanley suddenly blurted aloud. Also, it turns out that Stanley is a really nice guy, and he's carrying around the baggage of his dead brother who was killed by Alphard. So, yay, we don't have to worry about him anymore. He just realized what Alphard hoped to accomplish at the Scramble. She meant to eliminate both Hitomi and her own decoy at the same time. The question was how. Beginning with her bombing in Chicago, Alphard had made frequent use of remote-controlled explosives. It was likely she'd opt for something similar here as well. But she wasn't going to be at the Scramble herself, so how in the world was she going to trigger the explosion? Is there some clue found in something she'd said or done earlier? Think. Try to remember. Stanley, you weren't a double, triple, quadruple agent. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, Stanley is even going against the wishes of his own CIA boss to help us right now. Think. Try to remember. If he didn't do something, everyone at the Scramble was probably going to die. Then, as he desperately racked his brain to remember something Kano had said. It had been while they were at the scene of the minivan explosion together. He said he heard a cell phone ringtone at the time of the explosion. Not sure if that's significant, though. Stanley recalled the recent exchange between Alphard and Hitomi. The two had called each other's cell phones. Alphard hadn't really been checking to make sure she had the right number. She'd been checking to make sure Hitomi hadn't changed her ringtone. That was it. The bomb was set to detonate in response to a specific piece of music. The ringtone on Hitomi's phone was the trigger. Where could the bomb be hidden then? Stanley didn't have the time to think. He needed to alert Kano and the others right away. As he pulled out his phone again, he recalled the map of the stakeout positions. Kano would probably be right next to the decoy, Alphard. It might be a mistake to call him under the circumstances. Maybe he couldn't risk calling Kano, but he could call Achi. Stanley dialed Achi Endo's number. Please don't let me be too late, he murmured to himself as he waited for the call to connect. It was hidden inside Palmer. Well, Palmer has that attaché case. Achi was quick to pick up. Mr. Stanley? What's going on? Oh, okay, yeah, you're doing this to me. It gave us 2 opportunities to switch over to... Oh, we can't jump to Achi from here. Can we jump to Achi from here? No. Oh, okay, we can just do this. Oh, because we didn't get to a keep out, right? Okay, well let's run through Achi's stuff to get down to somewhere to jump to. Why do you seem so confident? Have confidence. This is a bluff. He knows he can't get away. His only chance would be to try to spread the virus around and then take off while everyone's distracted, which meant that they needed to grab the guy and be done with it. Enough of this high and mighty act, Susumu shouted. Evidently he shared Achi's opinion, yeah. But he didn't reach him in time. And we're seeing this again. So we should be able to get a little further because we stopped Alphard from calling Hitomi's phone earlier. So that should stop the bomb from exploding right now. But we still have to stop her from exploding. It's the last thing I remember. Yeah. So it turns out that all these things are just vials of nothing. There's nothing in them. That was never meant to be a thing. Because we determined that this guy doesn't think that he's going to die, so he would never release the virus because he's a coward. The desperate shout come from Hitomi. She spotted the vials sailing in a high arc away from all the SOS members. Damn it! Achi launched into motion, ignoring the searing pain in his leg, but the falling vial was so far away. Yeah, man, this game, right? Yeah! It was now or never. He threw himself into a headfirst slide. Nice catch! The gang members broke into cheering and applause. Achi got to his feet and looked around, but saw no sign of either Kano or Alphard. Hey, Achi, if you're looking for the detective, Susumu gestured with his chin. Achi looked and saw Kano far away across the Scramble, chasing after Alphard. Soon both men were lost in the crowd. Achi would have charged off in pursuit as well, but his wounded leg made that impossible. Get him, detective, he murmured under his breath. We're counting on you. Okay, so this is where we can jump in. Okay, good. Hachi was quick to pick up. I'm concerned that we're only at 1905 out of, 2000. Eventually, Achi spotted Kano on the far edge of the crowd. The detective pumped his fist in victory. It looked like he got an Alfred to cough up the password. Thank goodness. Finally, some really good news. Now Tomi and Maria were both safe. A surge of relief ran through Achi's body. Unexpectedly, his cell phone rang. It was Stanley. Mr. Stanley, what's going on? How did the negotiations go? How did the negotiations go? Achi quickly filled him in on the good news. The detective called Alfred. He got him to give up the password, and I think he's called the folks at the lab. Does that mean the case is closed then? No, not yet. Right now, I need you to do exactly as I tell you. For a moment, Achi's head swam. This isn't over yet. Why? What's going on? If you want to save Hitomi, then shut up and listen, Stanley barked. All right, tell me what to do. First, you need to power down Hitomi's cell phone. Turn off her phone? What for? Was Stanley serious or just messing with him? As soon as I said that, my phone got a message and the screen lit up. That was slightly concerning. Okay. A bomb? Achi's voice squeaks into... I'm sorry. A bomb? One second. B? Achi's voice squeaked into falsetto. The guy that kind of just apprehended is a decoy. One second. Listen, I subscribe to Nintendo Capri Sun. There's a B mode. B? There we go. The real Alfred is planning to eliminate Hitomi and the false Alfred at the same time. Eliminate both Hitomi and his own decoy? Why would he do that? If the guy they just captured was a fake, then who's the real Alfred? He couldn't wrap his head around it. The more he tried, the more his thoughts became a jumbled mess. Listen, first turn off that cell phone. Then go and look for the bomb. Okay, got it. Right now he just needed to do what Stanley told him to do. He didn't have time to make sense of the situation. Hanging up, he called out to Hitomi. Hitomi, you have to turn off your cell phone. She stared back at him, too confused to act. Look, just hurry and do it. Alright, okay. Pulling her phone from her pocket, she switched the power off. Thank God. Then Achi turned in Kano's direction. Detective! He shouted. Kano was looking toward him, seemingly already aware that something was amiss. Detective, that's not the real Alfred. He's a fake! A fake? Kano looked understandably shocked. Yeah, I just got a call from Stanley. He said the real Alfred is planning to get rid of both Hitomi and the fake with some kind of bomb. Kano hurriedly turned back to the fake Alfred and began a fresh barrage of questions. Meanwhile, Achi's mind was racing again. If the bomb was meant to wipe out both Hitomi and the imposter, it would have to be pretty powerful. So it couldn't just be anything particularly small. I found you, faker. Faker? You're the fake Alfred around here. Where could the bomb be hidden then? Achi scanned the area but didn't spot any place that seemed plausible. Is it going to be in a tree again, like last time? Kano made his way over to Hitomi. Pardon me, miss, I just need to search you real quick. Wait, had Hitomi been planted with a bomb? Achi, keep an eye on this guy, Kano said. If he tries anything funny, feel free to punch his lights out. Okay, sure thing. Achi took up watch over the decoy Alfred. Is it in the necklace? No, cause Maria has that. The guy is handcuffed, but he was still a diabolical terrorist. Achi knew he couldn't let his guard down for a moment. He kept a close eye on the fake, ready to knock him cold at the first sign of mischief. Meanwhile, Kano continued to search Hitomi. Did you buy all the jewelry and accessories you're wearing yourself? Yes, most of them. The ring I got from my sister. What about your clothes? Oh, I bought them just this afternoon. The top I was wearing before it got torn. Ah, I see. Then as Kano continued to search, he cried out suddenly in realization. Hitomi, you have to give me your cell phone. It's a bomb! Hitomi hurriedly pulled out her cell phone and handed it to Kano. Achi looked on in alarm as he realized the detective was going to turn the phone on. Stop! Don't turn that thing on! Kano froze at Achi's sudden shout. Why not? The detective quirked a quizzical eyebrow. I don't know, it's just what Stanley said. He told me to make sure her phone stayed off. The blood drained visibly from Kano's face. Quickly pulling out his own cell phone, Kano dialed up the police. He launched into a discussion involving a lot of cop jargon that made no sense to Achi. One thing seemed clear, Tomi's phone itself might be the bomb. But wait, Achi found himself doubting the phone bomb idea. If Hitomi hadn't brought her cell phone with her, what would have happened then? Would that just mean there would be no explosion here? He didn't buy it. Surely Alfred would have thought of a way to eliminate Hitomi and the decoy crook, whether she had her phone on her or not. It was too worrying a prospect to ignore. Achi waited impatiently for Kano to hang up, then asked, well, what do we do? For now, just let me handle this. We don't know when or how this thing might explode. Another ad? What the heck? Shouldn't be doing that. We'll just give it a few seconds for the ad to finish. We have 25 seconds, it says. I really hate this system so much. Can I snooze it? Ad snooze for 5 minutes? That's not gonna... Oh, I can snooze an ad for 5 minutes? Three times in one stream. That's it. It's just a 5-minute snooze. That's so freaking... It's so stupid. It's so stupid. I need to start my stream 20 minutes early to take ads off for a... more than 2 hours, just so I can run 3 ad breaks. And there's no way to set ads close together or anything. Anyway, I really dislike how they did it. Obviously it's gonna make them a ton more money. I like it when they have like the little banner ads that run under the stream but don't, you know, mute the stream, or the ads that like put the stream in like a little box but also does not mute the stream. Anyway. Twitch has banner ads. Yeah, they sometimes have these like little banner ads. Like it like makes your screen smaller. I don't know if it's on mobile though. It's I've seen it on desktop. It's really weird. I don't think they count as ad breaks though. I think it's just things that they run whether you like it or not. Anyway, so for now let me handle this. We don't know when or how this thing might explode. You guys get out of here. Kano set the cell phone down on the ground and started to put some distance between himself and it. It also mutes the stream, that sucks. Achi followed after him, dragging the fake Alfred along. And we died anyway! Suddenly, there was a tremendous boom and a furious impact ripped through Achi's body. I knew it! Achi thought as he lay crumpled on the pavement. Hitomi's cell phone was powered off, so it couldn't have been the bomb. Something else must have exploded instead. It was the last thought Achi ever had. I'm thinking it's the attaché case. The bomb explodes. So let's see, we had a jump over here that we could do, right? Let's jump over to Kano. We have to stop dying. It's very, very rude of us. Suzumu! Yes, yes. Kamachi. Dozen members of SOS at Fort Palmer. Tough luck, pal. You're completely surrounded. I like Achi a lot, too. You don't look like police. Enough of the high and mighty act. Easy now. What a shame. Then he throws it up in the air. I bet we're gonna see that scene again. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. How many times have we seen this particular scene? Look out! Catch him, catch him! Everything began to fall. SOS members fanned out positioning themselves as best as they could. Kano likewise prepared to intercept it, but he caught sight of Palmer speeding away. There's only one right call here, and he needed to make it. Yeah, we have to chase after Palmer. It didn't matter if he didn't grab the bile. Something about this. Yeah, we saw this already also. Dodged through the crowd. He would catch them one way or the other. He was going to bring this guy down. That's collided. Went down flailing. Held him down. Tell me the password. You made the wrong choice. It was out now. And we're like, no, no one's going to die. Why are you sure of that? Because you would have never put yourself in a situation where you would die. Which means there was no virus in those vials. They were a decoy. And so was he. More importantly, it was your eyes. You didn't have the eyes of a man who was putting his life on the line. Who do you think you are, Sherlock Holmes? No, I've seen that before, the day Detective Toteno doused himself in gasoline. He has the eyes of a man who's gonna die. The password, give it to me. No. Kinda wasn't surprised. How are we gonna get him to talk? Then he saw the car. So we saw this part also in this half of the stream. Gasoline had spilled from the vehicle. So we're just gonna, recreate the thing. We handcuffed Alphard, and then we sit down in the gasoline, and then we pull Palmer closer, and then we pull a lighter from our pocket, and we're like, haha, tell me the password, or we both die. And he's like, my friends will avenge me, it's fine. And he's like, what? And then we light the lighter, which should have killed us because gasoline fumes sublimate very quickly. You can't be serious. And we're like, oh, I am serious. And he's like, you're gonna die too. And we're like, okay. I'm sorry I'm speeding through this, but we already saw this and it's a long scene. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. And then started bringing it closer and closer to the gasoline. And then we were very calm. And then Palmer starts to doubt. What's his name? Who? His father-in-law. It's a journal thing, yeah. A dictum is like a rule. Like Dick Gumshoe. Palmer's eyes went wide. He was no longer able to hide his trembling. All right, I'll tell you. Put that thing out. The password first. His voice a strangled snarl. Palmer gave him the password. Kano extinguished the lighter. We win. This man is a coward and never counted on dying. Called the last exchange with Stanley at the electronics shop. We'll never have that beer after all. Or we will have that beer after all. Okay, I have the password. Are you serious? Osawa blurted out in shock. Yeah, let me give it to you. Are you ready? Okay, so the last time we were here, Osawa didn't pick up the phone. So that means that in that version of things, we had never stopped Kanan from going into the facility with them, and she probably killed everybody there. Yeah, let me give it to you. Are you ready? Yes! 59 FBAI 4QL1. As he passed along the alphanumeric sequence, Kano kept his eyes on Palmer. The man stared back at him with an expression of bitter defeat. There was a long silence on the other end of the phone. Then Alastasawa's excited voice came through. That did it! It opened! The lock opened! Kano let out a deep breath of utter relief. Huh. Palmer snorted. You're really satisfied with catching me and saving the life of one girl. I suppose it's the Japanese way to forget the pain that's been visited upon you. But it's not over. The bloodshed will continue. All over the world, women, children, the elderly, innocent, all will bleed because absolute justice is on our side. Punch him in the face. Is that right? Yay! Kano drove his fist into Palmer's face. There was no such thing as absolute justice. It was that kind of blind faith that kept the world in conflict. Well, this sure is quite the mess. Hey, Kuze! Whirling around in surprise, Kano saw Kuze standing there. Director Kuze! He bowed his head apologetically. He may have apprehended the criminal mastermind, but only because he had ignored a direct order to place Maria under quarantine. I'm sorry, sir, but I... Save the apology, Kuze interrupted. You're the one who solved the case. You did good, kid. Once again, Kano bowed, this time even more deeply. Oh, and one more thing, Kano. Yes, sir? Sasayama's regained consciousness. I thought you'd like to know. I just want to point out that one of the bad endings of this game was Maria, Chiri, and Yanagashita becoming millionaires by gaming the system on an eating eating contest, and she never got her memories back. I just want to point that out. That was still the actual ending of this game. This is all just an extended, alternate ending. Sasayama, they were able to save him? I got a call from the hospital. Looks like he's going to pull through. That's great. Really great news. Nagato is alive. Yay! I can't believe I'm saying this. Tears of relief came to Kano's eyes. If Osawa was able to get the lock at the lab open, he should have been able to get Maria the antiviral without any further difficulty. Yeah, but the bomb is still going to kill us all. Kano dragged Palmer to his feet, then undid the handcuff from his own wrist, using it to properly bind his captive. The metal ring snapped shut with a soft, satisfying click. Palmer limply hung his head. It was over. It was all finally over. It really had been quite a day, Kano reflected. Beyond all challenges he'd faced, he had come face to face with his own shortcomings. Now he knew it a long way he had to go to be the man he wanted to be, but at least he learned what it truly meant to be a detective. Huh? Kuze was muttering to himself nearby. I mean, you don't even look like, but... The director shook his head and cleared his throat. You know, Kano, for a second there, you looked just like Tateno. Really, sir? Kano smiled, fussing sheepishly with his hair. Kuze's words were the finest praise he could have asked for. Someday he hoped he really might be a detective like Tateno. We're about to explode in like 2 seconds. No, he decided he would be. Until then, he'd never give up on that dream. It might be a long, long road, but he would walk it. There it is. We're gonna explode now. Kano looked up into the sky. The neon lights of the city shone from all over. This was the same old Shibuya that it always was, but one that he looked at now with new eyes. Come on, do it. Do it, you coward. What? You're not gonna kill us? What do you mean, keep out? How do you keep out at that? So we reached a bad ending over there. I think we jumped to that Kano, right? And they lived happily ever after. Yeah. Once they're eliminated. What? Hurry! Yes, sir. Once he got in Kano's confirmation, Tenno hung up. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is the same old Shibuya it's always been. There we go. There it is. There goes our happy ending, everybody. Don't worry, don't worry. His cell phone rang. Tatenu's name appeared in the incoming call display. Kano quickly picked up. Hey, Shimikere. How you doing? We're doing some more but first, we're doing some more Shibuya, and you know what? We got a raid, which means we got to get the guns. I don't have different raids for different size groups, so everybody gets the guns. Also, look away, Fury. Yeah, I love this cutscene. Anyway, Shimikere, or as the what's it called? Text to speech called you Shimikide, I think it was. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you're doing well. I hope your stream went well. We're at the end of Shibuya Scramble. And crazy things are going on. Crazy things are going on. Crazy things are going on. Detective Tenno, what's going on? You need to get Tomi Osawa to safety immediately. Alfred isn't trying to get at her blood. He wants her eliminated. What? Tatena wasn't making any sense. Alfred Palmer had already been arrested. The threat was over now. Hurry! Tatena barked. Yes, sir. Detective! Achi called out suddenly. He was standing with Hitomi and the others near the statue of Hachiko. Detective! That's not the real Alfred, he's a fake! A fake? Yeah, I just got a call from Stanley. Kano didn't want to believe it. This Alfred was just a decoy. That meant the real culprit was elsewhere, still on the loose. Enchi's voice rang with desperation. He said the real Alfred is planning to get rid of both Hitomi and the fake with some kind of bomb. To get rid of Hitomi? That lined up with what Tatena was just called to warn him about. It must be true then. I think that the Scramble itself is the bomb, or like the statue of Hachiko or something. Actually, the statue of Hachiko would make sense. Once again, Kano tensed. A bomb, but where? Give me the Explosives Ordnance Division, someone squawked. Get me the Explosive Ordnance Division, someone squawked. Team made up of Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department Security Bureau's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 6th Riot Police units, as well as Support Vehicles Unit. Division members are trained in explosives disposal. Typically, a dangerous explosive is frozen with liquid nitrogen, then moved away from the site via a support vehicle. The bomb is then detonated in a safe location. Explosives are almost never dismantled on site. We've got an emergency here. It was Kuze, practically screaming into his cell phone. We're at the Scramble outside the station, hurry! The director started running toward the precinct, still shouting as he wove his way through the crowd. Kano felt himself starting to panic. If Hitomi and Palmer were the targets, the bomb had to be nearby. He stormed over to his captive. Okay, where's the bomb? He demanded. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb with me. I already told you the password, Palmer said. What point would there be in keeping things from you now? Kuze! He had a point. If he had known about the existence of the bomb, he'd kept it a secret so far. Getting him to reveal it now would not be easy. Kano decides to just have a look for it himself. Yakuza's flashbacks. I mean, we had a Kiryu-chan, earlier, so it worked, the Yakuza connections. He took a deep breath and tried to think logically. If he were Alfred, what would he do? What would he do? How could he ensure that he'd eliminate both Hitomi and the fake Alfred at the same time? Where would he plant a bomb in order to pull that off? On the fake? On Hitomi? There's that way he could be certain. I don't think it's on Hitomi. We saw that and it wasn't her. I guess a minivan would work. He was going to try the same ploy all over again. Kano thought back to the other van explosion earlier that afternoon. Alfred would need an explosion big enough to wipe out both Hitomi and the fake Alfred, even if they got separated. With that in mind, rather than plant a bomb in one fixed spot, he would use a minivan which could be moved to wherever Hitomi and Palmer would happen to be. You mean it doesn't say Alfred? Hachi, it's in a minivan. Look for a minivan. Kano scanned the area. There were plenty of vehicles parked all around, but no minivans. Seems strange. If the two intended victims were here now, he'd expect the bomb to be somewhere near as well. Still, he didn't spot a minivan anywhere. Kano ground his teeth in frustration, sweat practically pouring from his forehead. Was he wrong in his assumption? If he was wrong, where else could the bomb be hidden? His mind began to run in circles. Okay, you can do this, he told himself. Focus, just think. Focus, think! He had to trust himself and then take action. He decided he'd just have to start checking whatever vehicles were close by. Leaving the fake Alfred under SOS's care. He peered in through the side windows. There didn't appear to be anything suspicious inside. I'm a lurk. No worries, lurking is good. Thank you very much. I appreciate the raid again. Lurking is 100% fine. I do it 90% of the time myself. Of course, if the bomb were set in the engine compartment or the trunk, a cursory check like this would never find it. Still, he hurried toward the next car. He had to trust his detective's instincts. If he could spot the bomb itself in a vehicle, maybe something else would alert him to its presence. Alfred had a certain criminal signature that Kano was sure would linger. Nothing abnormal here, no problems here, not this one either. With each car he checked, Kano's panic rose. About 2 minutes must have passed since he started searching for the bomb. Already more than 15 had passed since Palmer had appeared on the scene. Detonation could come at any moment now. Kano felt he might crumple under the weight of fear. It might already be too late. He felt utterly defeated, and then he saw it. A small, boxy minivan. It was racing right toward him. That was it. It had to be. The van drew steadily closer, streaming a massive plume of white smoke. I knew it! I knew it! I knew they were going to come by. Alright, so the last time we saw the angels, the wandering angels here, they were racing through the streets with their broken smoke machine full of, that used dry ice that they were trying to get to Endo Electronics. And then they mentioned that the dry ice could be used to defuse a bomb. And we're totally using this. Kano sprang into action. Stop! Stop that vehicle! He rushed right into the minivan's path, bracing himself to stop it with his own body if necessary. The driver's compartment was filled with white smoke, making it impossible for him to see who was driving. The van might be unmanned. Stop! Kano shouted again. He knew it was probably pointless, but he had to try. Oh my god, everybody exploded anyway. Try this. What is this, 999? Right? Did we die? Kind of whirled around. He could see countless bloodied bodies scattered across the pavement. We didn't die, but the bomb went off. What the hell just happened? It wasn't the minivan that exploded. The bomb must have been hidden someplace else. Shoot. No. How? Kano crumpled to his knees. The minivan drove right on past him. No! The chilling breeze in its wake washed over him like the winds of despair. They're totally gonna use that stupid machine to stop the bomb. I know it. Alright, let's make the this different decision. We know from Achi's side of things that it's not, the bomb isn't on Hitomi, so I guess they'll try on the fake then. There's no other place he could possibly have planted it. Kana began to pat Palmer down carefully. Achi! He shouted. Check the case, hurry! Gestured to the attaché case Palmer had been carrying. Don't move. Don't move! Kana searched through his captive's jacket and the pockets of his pants, but he came up with nothing. Perhaps Alfred had fitted the bomb into the man's watch or belt? Stop this. I'm not carrying a bomb. Shut your mouth! Kana couldn't spot anything suspicious about the watch or the belt either. He clenched his jaw in frustration. Did Palmer really not have it after all? Detective! It was Achi who looked alarmed. Kana hurried over to him, dragging Palmer along. When he looked inside the attaché case, Palmer's face went pale. No, it can't be. Alfred, why? His voice was hoarse with betrayal. Okay, it was in the attaché case. Then he abruptly broke into stilted laughter. Trusting someone really does make you blind. Such a simple, childish ruse, and it went right under my nose. Palmer looked over at Kana. We need to get out of here immediately, he said. That right there is C4. Plastic explosive created for military use. The chief component is RDX, trimethyl N-trinitramine, which is combined with a plasticizer such as diacetyl sebacate. I think it's supposed to say it is highly reliable and is used by many military forces around the world, most notably the U.S. Armed Forces. A high-yield plastic explosive used by the military, and that's enough to blow his whole area to smithereens. Chill ran up Kano's spine. Do not let this man go, he said, handing Palmer over to Susumu. Got it, just leave it to us. Susumu signaled to his followers, who immediately dumped Palmer unceremoniously on the ground.